guys, it's Corinne with Thompson RV in Pendleton, Oregon. I am here today to show you the brand new 29 TRX in the titanium series. So it's been a couple of years since we've put out a video on the full 29 TRX. We have the 27 TRX, the 24 TRX. We even have a video that shows the difference between the three. But up until 2025, these were not available in the titanium series. So we bugged them enough at the factory that they finally started optioning in the titanium package on top of all of the wonderful features that you were already going to get on an outdoors RV mountain tracks toy hauler. These are more than just a toy hauler though. So we get a lot of people that take these to dog shows, kayaks, biking, lots of hunters. So there's a lot of different ways you can use this back area. And years ago, when we first made the 29 TRX video, I had said that I really hoped at some point that Outdoors RV would create a model that didn't necessarily have to be a toy hauler, that had slide outs, that also had the rear patio. And guess what? They have that now too. So you can check out the 26 RPS if you're looking for that rear patio, but don't necessarily need this space, or the 27 side patio. But with all of that being said, the 29 TRX is going to be the largest of Outdoors RV's toy haulers. So you have 160 inches from up here all the way to the back. So even some of the larger four-seater side-by-sides, such as the Can-Am, can fit in this unit. If you don't need all that space, a person could go down to either the 27 or the 24. But the 29 gives you more storage space in here. From this point forward, it's going to be identical to the 27, but what you gain in the 29 is going to be this section right here. So the dinettes to the dinette to chair is going to be a little bit more room right here. You're going to get a larger window, extra cabinet up above over here, and then an additional window. Everything is going to be identical to the 27 TRX except for this little section right here. So I personally had the 27 TRX, absolutely loved it. This section right here, though, was a little bit more cramped when you get a bunch of people inside the unit, where this one, you just have a little bit more floor space. But for what I was doing, we were just hauling dirt bikes, so we didn't necessarily need the extra length of the 29. If you're unfamiliar with Outdoors RV products, and this is the first time you're stumbling across a video on their toy haulers, Outdoors RV is a company that is built out of La Grande. They are a sister company to Northwood, which builds Arctic Fox, Desert Fox, and Nash products. So they build their own chassis, which means they're one of the only companies anywhere in the trailer manufacturing industry that builds their own chassis. So this is not put on a cheap, flimsy frame with low cargo carrying capacity. They have high cargo carrying capacity, heavy duty axles, a very heavy duty door. So there's a lot of differences when you start comparing your standard toy haulers that are out there available on the market and your Outdoors RV. Outdoors RVs are also known for their four-season capabilities. All the manufacturers out there are going to tell you that they have heated and closed tanks. They're going to tell you they're a four-season, and most of them at best will be three-season. So they're not meant for super high temperatures and they're not meant for super low temperatures. The Outdoors RV products, because they're built in the mountains here in Oregon, we know about our winters. It's also 105 degrees as I'm filming this video. So we know about hot summers. These are built with a true four seasons package. Insulation and everything is going to be up and enclosed, not to mention 2-inch thick sidewalls, dual pane windows. So these are a true four seasons package, unlike, again, most of the other manufacturers. So if you are planning on going somewhere extremely hot, or maybe you want to elk hunt in Colorado in the middle of winter, you've got the trailer that can do everything. Lots of storage in the 29 TRX. Again, you're going to get extra cabinets, but in the titanium series, you're going to get the upgraded cabinet doors. I'm going to link a video down below that shows you all the differences between the mountain series and the titanium, because there's so much that it's almost hard to list all in one video without saying titanium series 600 times. Auto leveling, I'll show you that when we get to the outside, the high gloss fiberglass, but then on the interior, you're going to get the solid surface countertops throughout the whole coach, the upgraded solid hardwood cabinetry, high arc faucets, stainless steel appliances. So there's a lot of extra features that you get on the titanium series. So them coming out with the titanium in the TRX models has been a game changer. The 29 TRX and the 27 TRX we keep selling out of because they've been so wildly popular in the titanium. We do still stock all of the toy haulers in the mountain series as well as in the titanium. So if you're looking for a little bit more budget friendly, we do have the mountain series as well. So just like the 27 TRX, you're going to have the entry door right here towards the front of the trailer, which puts you right into the kitchen area. Same kitchen as the 27 TRX. You get extra counter space by having a glass top on the stove. Flip it up when you're ready to cook. You have a 3-burner stove with a high output burner right here in the front, which is quicker for boiling water. So if you want to make tea or coffee. Backsplash, knife rack. Because it's the titanium and you get the stainless steel oven and stove, you get the direct spark ignition, so you don't have to get down on your hands and knees to light the pilot light in the oven. Outdoors RV uses a fairly large oven in all of their units. Pot and pan drawer down below. Lots of cabinetry, some of which you might need a stool to access because of the height in the toy hauler. Again, the cabinetry in the titanium, you can tell when I open and close that it's just a thicker, higher grade, right? So you're going to get a solid hardwood piece of wood right here in the center. You can even see the knots in the wood. So it's not going to be your flimsy cabinetry. Not that the Mountain Series is. Compared to everything else out on the market, the Mountain Series has spectacular cabinets as well. They're just more of a shaker style. So it's a flat piece here with a thinner piece of paneling in the center. In the titanium, you're going to get the nicer cabinetry. High arc faucet in the titanium faucet. You get the solid surface countertops with the sink covers. Farm style single basin sink with the wire rack down below to protect the stainless steel sink. You get a flip up countertop extension here. You have 3 drawers right down here. Under the sink, you're going to have the spice rack as well as additional storage. And over here, you're going to have the pantry area. Nice deep pantries. You might need a stool, again, in some of these cabinets, especially if you're a little vertically challenged like me. But if you're tall, the Outdoors RV products, not just the toy haulers, are great for tall people because they have such high arched ceilings. But the toy haulers are exceptionally tall, and same with the RPS and the SPS because of the big ramp door. Outdoors RV has switched to all 12-volt refrigerators. In the titanium, it's going to be stainless steel. And that gives you a 10 cubic foot fridge versus the old gas that was 8. I feel like that's really noticeable in the freezer. There's a lot of depth. Over here, you have a nice big coat closet. I've had people put racks in there to hold rifles, shotguns. You also have a space specifically designed to hold guns. But then also I've had people that have utilized this space to hold backpacks or anything of that sort as well. Motorcycle gear. Up here, you have some nice big cabinets that are tall enough and big enough for motorcycle helmets, which seems really obvious to people who ride. But it's amazing how many toy haulers actually don't have a space to put all of your gear. And then again, because this is the 29, you're going to have an additional cabinet up here. And that extra window. The TV location in the 27 and the 29 is perfect. So it's directly across from the chairs. These are all smart TVs now, which is super cool because you can run like a Starlink Mini. That's what we've been doing. And watch Netflix, Amazon, wherever you are without cell service or anything. That Starlink is awesome. But you also have a DVD player still. So the kids like to pack DVDs, like the old Back to the Future and stuff like that, to watch when we're in our trailer. It doesn't do Blu-ray, I get that question a lot. But it also does HDMI and USB, so you can plug stuff in and watch it on the TV. It also is just a stereo, so if you want to listen to music, you can Bluetooth your phone to this, listen to music inside or under the awning with the outside speakers. Additional storage underneath the TV. Oh, and I should mention too that the TV is on a swing out bracket. So if you want to watch the TV over here from bed or from the dinette, you easily can do that as well. The fireplace is now optional. We've been optioning that into our 27s and 29s. If you didn't get that, you would have 2 cabinet doors and a little extra storage. We felt that there was quite a bit of storage already and that it was okay to go ahead and put in the fireplace because it looks super cool. Over here, you have even more storage. I'll open up one of these to show you. But nice, deep, tall cabinets. The titanium, everything's going to be trimmed out in wood versus being trimmed out in like a vinyl. You also get the slow rise blackout shades. Blackout shades are going to be awesome to have really anytime. The windows are tinted, so you don't have to have them down all the time. But having a blackout curtain at night when you have the lights on, that way you can't see through like you can the old day-night shades. It's also extremely nice if you do travel up to Alaska or live in Alaska because it blocks out that sun that never seems to go down in the summer. 2 swivel recliner chairs. You have the little table that goes right here. And then one thing that I haven't shown in a long time, I think the only video I showed it on was a prototype, the 30 TRX, which is not going to be in production, but the different configurations of the dinette and the bed. So this makes into a bed as well. So before we exit the trailer on the inside, I'm going to show you all the different configurations that you can do with this setup back here. And then of course you have the rear patio. I'll show you that when we do the outside. So let's go take a peek at the bedroom and the bathroom, which is going to be exactly the same as it is on the 27 TRX. A few things that are going to be upgraded in the titanium series are going to be here in the bedroom. So the solid surface countertops next to the bed, the under cabinet lighting next to the bed, the reading lights, as well as the upgraded mattress. So this is like a $1,200–$1,300 upgraded mattress. It is a fabulous mattress. I love it so much that I actually have it at home, and we are going to start selling the home mattresses here that we can direct ship to you because so many people have gotten out of their trailer, gone back into their home, and decided that the mattress is better in their trailer. So this is an absolutely fabulous mattress. So when you buy a titanium series, you don't have to upgrade the mattress like you do in most other models. Pretty standard configuration here in the bedroom for outdoors RV. So anything with a north-south bedroom is going to have the shirt ward on each side of the bed as well as storage up above the bed. One thing that you'll get in either a backcountry series or the Mountain Tracks Toyhauler is going to be the pistol safe right here next to the bed. And yes, we do sell these. So if you're getting a standard outdoors RV, we can add one for you. Or if you want to add an additional one on that side of the bed, you can do that as well. It comes standard on this side of the bed always. On each side of the bed, you're going to have 2 110 outlets as well as a 12-volt outlet and a USB port. We option in the Max Air Deluxe vent fans into all of our units. So that is a box that we check when we order all of our trailers from the factory. That's a must. So it has the built-in rain cover so you can run it going down the road. You can run it in the rain. It doesn't allow bugs and debris and leaves and everything to get into your vent. 10 speeds, fully automatic, so you can set a thermostat and it'll turn off when it gets too cold. But also you can do air out or air in. Another feature in the titanium is going to be the 12-volt TV here in the bedroom with the DVD player in the side. And both TVs in this unit are going to be 12-volt. So you don't actually have to start up the generator to operate them. They will run directly off of the batteries. I recently put out a video about our 27 TRX that the boys and I used. And one of the things that I mentioned in that video, if you haven't already seen it, is how much I love the Jack and Jill style bathroom. So for me, I can be sleeping in the bedroom with the doors closed. The kids can get down and use the bathroom if they need to without waking me up, and vice versa. Or let's say you've got hunting buddies and you want a little more privacy. You're not going to have them in your bedroom. Like they can come in and use the bathroom and you still have all of your privacy. So that's a really nice feature. If you haven't seen the video too, where we compare the 24, 27, and 29, you'll know that on the 24, it's a slightly less private bedroom. And then the bathroom is kind of off and just has a single door. So that is one difference between that model and then the 27 and the 29. Again, titanium series, you are going to get some bathroom features that are going to be different than the mountain series. You get the underslung stainless steel sink with the solid surface countertop, the upgraded faucet, the vanity mirror, and then inside the shower, you get a little bit nicer hardware. You're always going to get the solid hardwood medicine cabinet, storage underneath. Fun fact, when you go to winterize, some of your low point drains are going to be down under that sink. USB-C and USB port, as well as 110 outlets. Porcelain toilet, upgraded toilet paper holder in the titanium. You always get an air conditioning duct and a furnace duct in the bathroom, so it stays the same temperature as the rest of the trailer. Again, a fantastic fan. The one in here is just going to be a 4-speed, excuse me, not fantastic, a max air fan. It's going to be the one that is 4 speeds exhaust only because it's in the bathroom. Towel hooks right here behind the toilet. And then you have a water pump switch. So if you hop in and you need to use the restroom going down the road and you forget to turn on the pump at the main entry door, you can turn on and off the pump right here on the wall. And then the shower is going to be the nice big glass shower and lots of headroom. Again, upgraded hardware as well as the overhead skylight. And as far as the beds go, the first configuration is going to be the bed is still up in the up position. You have the dinette benches down and you have both tables. Personally, I like to run mine with just one table. That way I can have a way to get in and out, because as you can see, this configuration blocks access to the rear patio. So you can easily just put one table in and leave it up and access that. The next configuration is going to be just one bed down. So if you don't need to utilize the top bunk, you can leave it in the locked up position versus having it down here, which I'll show you next, and just use this one bottom bunk. And these just flip up and over. So you would flip those legs in and they just flip up and over to make back into the dinette benches. With both beds in the down position for sleeping, you have a bunk ladder to get up to the top bunk. Because it's a titanium, it's even going to have a solid surface countertop right here at the head of the bed. You have USB and USB-C ports up top with storage on both sides. And then you also have a USB and USB-C right here, as well as a 110 outlet to charge phones and devices right here. My kids absolutely love the bunks. I don't typically have bunk bed models, so they are used to sleeping on a dinette or a sleeper sofa. So having the bunk set up, they absolutely loved it. They really like the fact too that you can just move the bunks up to the top and then have this whole floor space. So it's not like they're taking up your trailer all the time. They can move up and out of the way. Super cool feature of the Toyhaulers. So maybe even if a person doesn't necessarily need the toy portion of this, just utilizing this as a regular travel trailer with bunks is awesome as well, especially because they're full-size bunks. So it's great for larger kids or adults. The other thing is it comes with a carpet kit. So let's say you weren't pulling in bikes or side-by-side or anything like that. You can put down a carpet kit. So this has a much more homey feel. They use the heavy-duty rubberized diamond plate on the floor, as well as heavy-duty D-rings. And then there was a space in the frame that was just sort of an extra space. So they turned that into an in-floor toolbox. And this is what it's going to look like when both beds are in the up position. So this is how you would pull in either your dirt bikes, your machines. You would just have them in the up position. That gets everything up and out of the way. And if you have the beds up, and let's say your side-by-side is a little taller and you can't quite get under the benches, you can actually flip them down to the side to get 82 inches of overhead height. So you would just pull this pin. There's one on each corner. We've already done that one. Then you just lift this up and out, and it folds down to the wall. So obviously these don't stick out any farther than the current cabinetry does, but now you've gained quite a bit of extra overhead space for a taller side-by-side. One of the coolest features that Outdoors RV uses is actual glass doors with screens. So a lot of companies just use a flimsy curtain in the back, and that's even sometimes an option. This comes standard, as well as the patio kit, the rear awning, all of it. It all comes standard on all of your Outdoors RV mountain treks. But I absolutely love the quality of these doors. And at the end of the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to put down the ramp into ramp mode and how to set up the patio, because it's been a while since we've done that. So these doors will swing open to get your side-by-side in. If you have dirt bikes like we do, we just ran them all through the middle, so it wasn't a big deal. We didn't even have to swing it out. But if you have a wider machine, then you need to swing those out to the side. So at the end of the video, once we've gone around the whole outside, I'll show you how to do the ramp and the patio kit. The patio kit is super cool. As I'm going to show you later, it actually collapses right into here, so you don't have to actually remove everything. It swings right up into here, and there's space. So when you flip up the door, it's all stored right inside. Again, you're going to get the rear electric patio awning with an LED light strip. And then you also have a really nice stair coming off of the patio. You don't have to use this. They also give you a leg. So if you don't want to use the step and you just want to have the patio, and maybe you want to close this to keep your dogs or kids in, you don't have to use the step. But it is a nice feature to have if you want to be able to come up and down off of the patio. Let's talk a little bit more about the titanium series now that we're on the outside. So you're going to get the high gloss Lamilux 4000 gray fiberglass. So this is a thicker, higher grade of fiberglass that's going to come on the standard Outdoors RVs. Not only is it gray, it's actually shinier and you can't really see the fibers. So it's not an actual gel coat, but it has more of that gel coat finish. So it's going to look shinier and nicer for a lot longer with less maintenance than the standard fiberglass. So that in and of itself is worth its weight in gold. I also love the frameless windows. It just gives it a much more sleek look, and they are dual pane. But most importantly, the auto leveling system. That was one of my hesitations on going to a toy hauler from either a Glacier Peak fifth wheel or a travel trailer, even though my family's needs, we were starting to need a toy hauler. I was hesitant because I did not want to give up my auto leveling. I know it sounds crazy, but if you haven't had auto leveling before, you have no idea what you're missing out on. It is absolutely amazing. So when they came out with the 2025 in the titanium, for me, it was a no-brainer. And that is why I ended up with the 27 TRX, in which, by the way, is my kids' absolute favorite floor plan. I don't know if you've seen our recent videos that we're doing Favorite Floor Plan Friday. So everybody here at Thompson RV is naming off their favorite floor plan. I need to get the kids on there so that they can tell you all the reasons, maybe without laughing this time, of why they love the 27 TRX. But auto leveling is a game changer. Outdoors RV, I mentioned earlier that they build their own chassis. So this is going to be a 10-inch I-beam chassis, custom built for this particular floor plan. That includes the Off-Road X4 suspension package on top of heavy-duty axles. So the Off-Road X4 suspension package is going to be the All-Trek 4000 More Ride suspension, heavy-duty shackles with bronze bushings and greasable zerts, as well as the KYB off-road shocks. The off-road shocks are great for going, up the Alcan Highway or off-roading, but also they're great on the freeway because they actually help with body roll. So you couple that with a good equalizer hitch, and this is going to tow like a dream. Also, Load Range G 14-ply Goodyear Endurance tires. This is going to be where you're going to fill the 100-gallon freshwater tank. You have a 10-gallon DSI gas and electric rapid recovery water heater. Right here, there's a hatch to access your fire pit barbecue hookup, so a quick disconnect LP. You have an electric awning that can run off of a wall switch, as well as the titanium comes with a remote. And that's an extra long awning. Outdoors RV always tries to utilize the entire sidewall and use the longest awning possible. You have your outside speakers. Again, those are linked to the CD, DVD, Bluetooth player that is inside the coach. Triple aluminum step, aluminum grab bar handle. Up here, this is going to be your front storage compartment. On the other side, you're going to have the generator. So this only goes 3/4 of the way. So they give you this really nice More Ride slide out tray. They also give you the portable air compressor. In all of the backcountry and mountain track series, you're going to have the shovel and axe holder right here in the front compartment. As I stated earlier, the Titanium series is going to come with the backup camera that also includes side marker cameras. All of the Outdoors RVs are coming standard with 400 watts of roof-mounted solar. We option ours in with either 600 or 1,000 watts of solar. This particular one is going to have either 400 or 600 watts, and I can tell because it has the single charge controller. If it had 1,000 watts, it would have a second one right here in the front compartment. Also right here in the front compartment is going to be the buttons for your auto leveling, an LED light strip, light switches, 12-volt and USB ports, as well as a battery kill switch. But in conjunction to the roof-mounted solar, we also have a side solar port right here. That's up to 200 watts of like a portable solar panel. It does not, however, run through the charge controller that the roof-mounted solar does. So you want to make sure if you go with a portable panel that it has a built-in charge controller on the panel. We were swapping this out for a Starlink port, but now we've actually figured out a way to do the Starlink port in conjunction with this. So we can add a Starlink port up to this front area. So you can run the Starlink Mini off of 12-volt power versus having to run the generator. You could also plug it into the 110 outlet outside and just kick on the generator. You have nice thick insulated doors with slam latch luggage door latches. And then you always have the nice magnet up top so you don't have to hold it open with your head. You can just flip it up and magnets right there to the sidewall. This is going to have your full fiberglass front cap, so it will wrap around the side. Right here, you're going to have the toy lock on the front so you can tie up your bikes or anything that you need to lock up at the front of the trailer. They come standard with the big tray that fills in the A-frame behind the propane tanks so that we can then put on our powder-coated aluminum lock box. We have this custom built here in town to hold our lithium batteries because there wasn't an option on the market to lock up your lithium batteries. So this is what we use right here. And that is going to fit 3 100 amp hour lithium batteries. If you do cold weather camping, we would typically do the heated battery. So that has a built-in heater. So when the core temperature of the battery gets to 24 or below, it's going to kick on and actually heat itself. So it will continue to charge. You're going to have 2 7.5 gallon propane tanks. Front power jack, that's going to be part of the auto leveling system. You've also got the hitch caddy right here. So your safety chain, 7-way cord, and breakaway cable can hook right here so they're not laying around on the ground. You have the underslung coupler, which gets your hitch height down a little bit. So when you're disconnected from the trailer, your hitch isn't so far up that you can't get your tailgate down. This is going to lower the hitch by about 4 inches. And over here we have your Onan 4,000 watt gas generator. On the Toyhauler, you are going to have a 40-gallon fuel station. So what is super cool about that is you can fill it up with non-ethanol fuel. You can fuel up your bikes, or it runs directly into the generator. So you have 40 gallons of fuel to pull from on this gen. Here's your other side marker camera. You have sewer hose storage right down here below. Black tank flush, city water right there. You've got your black and gray dump valve handles with a light. Right here is where you're going to plug in your 30 amp plug for your cord. Satellite and cable, venting, and access to your furnace. Right here is where you're going to have your outside spray port. So no outside shower. It's going to be an actual pump that runs separately from the pump to the rest of the trailer. So a separate pump with a little coiled hose and a spray port. Even that door is going to be insulated. That's part of that Four Seasons package. Here you have a ladder that you can adjust away from the trailer if you want to get up and down off of the roof, but it snugs up nicely so it's not hanging out when you're driving down the road. It snugs up nicely to the trailer. Right here is where you're going to fill your 40-gallon fuel station. Right here is where you have your handle to fuel up your bikes or side-by-side. You have your pump switch for the fuel station itself. Now let's go ahead and put this all back up so I can show you how to bring it down into ramp mode and then how to put it into the patio mode. All right, so here we are on the back. If you want to get the back door down, you're going to lift up these handles, and that one does have a lock on it. Let's see that way. And just bring it down. The cool thing about these doors compared to like the older toy haulers that I've had in the past is that it has an assist on the door. So as you can see, I didn't have to muscle this door around to get it down. In patio mode, you're going to have these cables connected. If you want to take it down into a ramp, you're going to disconnect these cables. And that is how you get that down into the ramp mode. Now, with that being said, you're going to come up this ramp and swing these out of the way. So these just flip open. I don't feel like I'm in proper attire for showing this today, but it is what it is. Okay, so that's how those fold out of the way. And then you're going to have the doors that open. And they have a little strap inside the door that then gets them out of the way as well. So this is the quick version, but you get the idea. So then we're going to latch these glass doors back. Then you're going to want to swing this side in first. And then this side. They actually fit together right inside the door here. All right, then we're going to take our cables and reattach them. It is a little bit easier if you have two people, but it can easily be done. Maybe not easily. It can be done with one person. But having two hands is nice. My kids, I have 3 boys, as I've said a million times, and they can do this in like a fraction of the time that I can. In fact, I think this might be my second time ever doing it because they always do it. Also, one thing to mention is there's some adjustment in these cables. So at one point when we had ours, it had gotten just a little bit out of adjustment and the ramp was slightly down. And my kids were like, oh yeah, there's adjustment. So they adjusted those little swivel things that are on the cable. And that is what you can do if you need to like have it lower or higher. For the sake of this video, we have the handle already attached to the steps. So you can bring the step over here. We'll click this into place here. And then you have the support leg. Now on the older models, you didn't have to have this leg. It was a different step setup in the video that Casey shows. This one is the new setup, so you need to have both. Then we just come up here. And this setup is really slick. It just all goes straight in and latches. So this comes out. Everything just latches right into place. I don't know if you can see the little hooks, but these just latch right into those little hooks. And actually this, let me redo that. This piece goes right into here, and that one latches right into there. And then if you want to shut this to keep children or dogs or whatever in, you can just lift this up and it latches over the top. Did I mention it was 105 out here today? That's it. That's all you got. So it is super simple to put up the patio, take down the patio, turn it from a patio into a ramp. So thank you so much for watching our video on the 29 TRX. If you have questions on this model or any of the outdoors RVs, please don't hesitate to give us a call.